So, hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. So, we've come away 2-0 winners tonight against Newcastle. Brilliant performance. Felt like first half we were sort of in second, third gear, cruising. Wasn't as dynamic as what we probably normally are, but we still played really well, got the job done. Kit watch, jacket watch, the beauty has came out. The A6 training jacket, 95, 96. Love this jacket. It's a recent purchase, so just buzzing with it really. Bring in Ryan. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. As lockdown Saturdays go, I've had a decent Saturday night, mate. I've had my feet up, had a curry at half time, couple of beers, and my Watkins 2-0 bet coming. So I've had a decent night, mate.
Buzzing, mate. It just felt super chilled watching it, didn't it? I think the euphoria on Twitter before the game, we were all expecting the 3 points today. I was especially. There's a lot of discontent with the Newcastle fans about Brucey, the way he's got on playing, and I just felt like we'd have too much for him today. And like I said in the intro, I felt like we were really in second gear. We didn't come out of that all game really, but we've got enough in that squad now. Some second goal, especially Traore's goal. We'll get onto that in a minute, but it was just brilliant. So, what did you make of it today?
Yeah, I thought we was terrific, Luke. I thought we was really good. Pre-match, I think me and you both thought Ramsey would come in, but he justified his selection of the camber because I thought he played really well. He was composed. He was taking the ball off midfield, linking up with the defence. It was great. His positioning, he was always available. So it was a fantastic performance from him. And then Watkins, I singled him out before the game. I thought this is his time to end his goal drought. You know, the last 4 games, he's been terrific. He's worked so hard. You know, you go back to the last time I was at Villa Park and the Crystal Palace game when we went down to 10 men and how hard he worked in that game and the graft running the channels in the last 3 away games. So for him, the shackles were off. It was time to go and attack and get that goal, and he got it. And it just filled him with confidence, didn't it? Because he put another one away that was offside, and he just looked at a different animal in front of goal. Traore's goal. Oh my God, it was just brilliant. His touch and layoff to Grealish, and then Grealish's ball back, and then it was just a filthy finish. It just looked quality, didn't it?
You know what with him
come off the bar.
He's blockbuster. He's total blockbuster. He's got that in his locker. I just think he's a fantastic player. Like you say, his little touch before the give and go, the run, the assured finish, so good. And I think what's good, I think a lot what we're saying at the minute as well is that we're lacking a bit of a bench. But what I do think on that side at the minute is we've got an option. I feel like he's completely different to Trez. And I think we'll see this maybe from time to time. We might start seeing a bit of a game by game who plays, who doesn't, because I just think he's just got that little bit of blockbuster, that bit more magic, and you don't know what he's going to do you, at times?
No. His comparison to, I think I said it on the Bristol City pod, that Ashley Young, he does remind me of Ashley Young, playing that inverted winger role. I know he's on the opposite wing, but just the quality to do the unexpected. And he, like you say, it's perfectly summed up. He's blockbuster. And yeah, you might see it swap game by game because probably the Man City game, you probably would have had Trez in there for his tracking back. But I noticed today that Troy had done a lot of pressing up top, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, it'll be coached into him.
But another thing is, and we said this when Courtney House came in a couple of games ago, that when a player's coming into this team now, they get it and they get their role and they put in a level of performance, which we've seen with Nakamba today. Last season, we'd have been having kittens when we were starting to see these names popping up, but we can be calm now because we know that they're going to deliver and put in a performance and they're buying into everything that we're doing. You touched on Watkins today, his goal, and the goal that was ruled out, a clinical finish, wasn't it? He seemed to have that little bit of that eye for a goal today. And you just
the fire was back in his belly, wasn't it?
You could just tell watching him that he he knew that goal was coming today, which was really pleasing. So obviously, when you're talking about a football team, you're normally talking more about the attacking side of the game. But I want to talk to you about our defensive side because
It's unreal.
it's
It's
a brick
unreal.
wall. It's like them shirts you've got. It's a brick wall, mate.
It's a back four, look.
Yes, that's the back four.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, well, back five because the keeper's so good. But Konza, England, surely.
Gotta be 100%. Southgate must have been watching tonight because it's the only Premier League game on. But his performance, he was up against Andy Carroll, who he's past his time, but he's still an experienced pro. He's still tough to handle. But flipping out, Konza in his pocket, Wilson in the other pocket. He just like ooze quality, didn't he? He just looked so relaxed. Everything just looked easy to him.
Do you know who it reminds me of watching? John Terry.
Yeah, John Terry, Paul McGrath. You can make those big comparisons.
His movement. When you used to watch John Terry, whenever there was a shot going in, he'd be there, and that's what I'm getting with Concert at the minute.
I always remember his debut, or the first time I watched him in the Villa shirt was that Hull game at home, and just watching Terry and how he read the game. He didn't need that pace anymore because he was 2 steps ahead of everybody else mentally. I also thought the fullbacks were terrific as well tonight, Luke. They've been penned back the last few games, them tough away games, but they had a chance to go forward, and I thought Cash and Matty Target were absolutely brilliant. Target's form as well. He's got to be close to England contention as well.
Target is solid now. Proper solid. He went in on a tackle today, didn't he? And he went straight through it, and I thought he looks strong when you're watching him now.
Yeah, and he weren't like that last season,
he definitely wasn't. So I think coaching wise, what's happened with him, absolutely brilliant. So it's just a real good performance, and I think again we probably didn't play it to the best that we can do, but it was still very, very good performances in there. So moving on to Burnley now, it's going to be another tough game, but a game where I think each game we play, we're going to be getting a little bit fitter and a bit more sharper still. So I think there's still a lot more to come. But thanks for coming on, mate.
Nice one, Luke, up the Villa, mate.
Villa. So first time we've got Captain K on tonight. How are you, mate?
Very well, thank you. Up the Villa, and thanks for having me on.
So what did you make of today's performance?
Yeah, it was totally in control. I think that the fact that for the first time in a very long time, went into this game with almost like 100% confidence that we were going to get a comfortable win. It was going to be really comfortable. And, the passages of play, it was just, I think not only were we really good, but I think Newcastle were really, really bad. They resembled like Fulham, how they were at the start of the season. I think we was able to just cut through them so easily.
I think like first half, it just felt like it was in second and third gear, didn't it?
Yeah.
It just felt easy to us, really. So,
yeah,
who stood out for you today?
I think there's a couple of good performances, but I think my man of the match personally was Marvelous Nakamba. He slotted straight in. That guy's been waiting for his chance. He filled in. He'd done all the basics. He was always available as well, and just turned and didn't really lose possession. There was a point in the second half, I think Konsa got caught in possession, and Marvelous came in and just, won the ball back and cleared it away for a corner. He was my standout guy. I think Ezri done really well. The defence was solid. And Ollie Watkins, he was just causing them so many problems, wasn't he? Just running in behind in the channels. You saw how dirty his whole outfit was. He was all over the place. But I think Marvelous for me. He done really well. Really proud of him slotting in there.
I think what's really good at the minute, especially about like the squad players who do come in, is that they actually put in a performance, don't they? I think we saw last season where they'd come in and they'd be a little bit flaky. But this season, if it's El Ghazi coming in, Trezeguet back in, House coming in, they all sort of deliver that performance to what's needed. Yeah. So I just think it's brilliant. So for you now, Aston Villa, we're level up in points with Chelsea. We've got 2 games in hand on Chelsea. Yeah. So if you look at it in that perspective, We're doing really well. Where do you feel like we can go this season?
I think we should realistically feel we can do 8th for sure. I think that's not unrealistic or getting ahead of ourselves. I think that finishing 8th, based on how we're playing and the performances and the fact that we've got 2 games in hand over most of the teams above us, 8th is where we should expect to finish, I think, based on how we're playing. But I'd like us to finish 6th. 6th, 5th at a push, but 6th I think would be really good for me. I'm not too sure. Is that Europa still 6th place?
I think so. Yeah, I think it depends on who might win the FA Cup as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think definitely 8th is where, as Villa fans, the way we're playing, we should expect to finish around there, I think, because there's no reason why we can't beat Burnley next week. There's no reason why we can't give Southampton a game. There's no reason why we can't crack on after those Manchester performances. I know we didn't get the result, but, the fact that what happened to our squad, the big gap in between, the stop-start, we're able to just come straight back in and deliver like we did tonight, and hopefully we'll get another win on Wednesday.
Yeah, hopefully. Just keep climbing that table. So thanks for coming on, mate.
Thank you. Up the Villa, and speak to you soon.
Thank you. So we've got Seb on tonight. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. A relatively routine win against Steve Bruce and his Newcastle, so I'm very happy.
Buzzing. So what did you make of it then? The performance, standout players?
Yeah, it was actually quite... I don't think we played as well as we could have done. I think I've probably seen better performances this season where we've come away with no points or maybe a draw. So it probably wasn't our best performance all round, but I think Newcastle allowed us to take extra touches on the ball and take more time on the ball without really pressuring us and pushing us back and making us feel uncomfortable at any minute. I think it was routine, as I said. They never really threatened. They allowed us to play football and, we took full advantage and we did play some good stuff. We probably could have pushed on. I think we were quite sloppy in the second half especially, but we got the 3 points and that's all that matters.
I think it was just all in all a really good performance from us, really, without being at our blockbuster self at times. I think Carragher is absolutely waxing lyrical about us all game, saying how good we are and how he enjoys watching us. And it just feels like people are actually starting to take notice of us and noticing the small parts of our game that are quite good. We're mentioning that obviously Watkins hadn't scored before today for quite a few games, but his actual work rate is really good. And I just think it's just these little things that they're all picking up on them, especially then we're starting to talk about Conser a lot more now, aren't they? So he's now being held in a little bit of a higher regard. You've got Cash and Target. And, we've, as Villa fans, we all talk about them and think they're absolutely amazing. But now you're starting to see pundits starting to say the same stuff. So who did stand out for you today then?
Yeah, I think you touched upon it yourself. Conser had a really good game at the back. Also, Watkins up front, obviously, when you're a striker and you haven't scored in a few games, people are going to be mentioning your name in a negative regard, but he put those to bed tonight with a really good goal. And he also finished another one really well that was later ruled offside. Bertrand Traore on the wing, this was one of his better performances. Newcastle backed off him and that suited him down to the ground. It allowed him to have extra touches on the ball, find his... But overall, it was a really good team performance and we looked dangerous. We looked really dangerous and Newcastle couldn't handle us.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention about Traore especially is like watching him, obviously, it's quite difficult watching... I always find it's quite difficult watching new players and watching them on TV because you don't get a perspective of sort of what they're doing off the ball at times. Whereas when you're at a game, you can see the whole picture, can't you? So, but what my observation on Traore is, I feel like he's got that blockbuster quality at a given time. And I think we've lacked that at times, especially you're thinking like Grealish. We know Grealish has got that. but I think Traore especially can just do something a little bit magic at times. And I think that's nice. That's good that we've got that type of player now, because I just think that goal today, it was quality though, wasn't it?
It came on his weaker foot as well, something we haven't really seen of him. Yeah, it was brilliant.
I think as well, in the cup when he scored that volley and everybody was like, was it a cross or was it a shot? But I'm starting to feel like it was probably a shot, wasn't it, really?
Yeah. I mean, he's shown glimpses of quality on more than one occasion this season. It's a really good signing, and it goes back again to our recruitment team in the summer. The amount of praise that they need to be given for the transfer dealings that they've done and still could possibly do later this month, with one or two looking like they might come in. It's a good time to be a Villa fan right now.
I think it's really good, and it's pleasing to see that obviously the quality signings are coming in and they are actually having an impact straight away. So let's just touch on Burnley then. What's your vibe on that then?
I hate Burnley. I hate playing them. It's the worst time of the season. They're such a horrible football club, and hopefully we can come away with the 3 points, preferably with less injuries than we came away from Turf Moor last year. They're a horrible club. We know what to expect. They're going to sit back. They're going to defend for their lives, and it will be up to us to score the first goal. Hopefully we can break that down, something that we failed to do back at Villa Park. But if we score the first goal, I can see us going on to get the 3 points. A bit similar to what happened tonight. If we can score early, then I think we could really take them to the sword.
Brilliant. Thanks for coming on, Seb.
No worries. Up the Villa.
So, delighted we're joined by Justin. What did you make of it, mate?
Right. Yeah, just what we wanted, wasn't it? I know I predicted a smashing 5 or 6 goal win, annihilation of them. And I think like what Ollie Watkins said at the end of the game, didn't he? He thinks they were a little bit, not the greatest in the second half. I think subconsciously they probably took the foot off the gas a little bit. A lot of games coming thick and fast. Newcastle weren't much opposition, were they? So I think it became too easy really for them. They were just sort of coasting through the second half. I think probably the worst thing could happen would get the Newcastle score a goal and then we'd have had to liven up again, but they didn't. They couldn't even, they're a very, very poor side, aren't they, Newcastle? We all know what Brucey's sides look like, and it looked very similar to what we had to endure underneath him, really. I'm just listening to his press conference now, and he's just excuse after excuse. So glad we've got Dean Smith now. We're not having to put up with that anymore. But yeah, great first half. So pleased for Ollie Watkins to finally get that off his back. He looked a different player first half after he scored, really going for it. Unlucky not to get a second as well. A fantastic second goal. Bertrand Traore, what a player he is. I didn't think he had a right foot, to be fair. I thought he just stood on his right foot, but what a finish that was. And the rest of them, Barkley, they're all still getting up to fitness, isn't they? Barkley's getting up to fitness. Jack purring. I don't think he's too happy being dragged off, but I think that was probably a sensible move on behalf of the management team, because he was getting a little bit frustrated. I think Smith just said he had a tight hamstring in training, so it makes sense. He's on 4 yellows as well. No point in risking him, isn't there, doing anything stupid? So yeah, Trezeguet's back. We got options off the bench as well, haven't we? It was all in all a pretty much perfect evening for us. I don't think anything you could have wished really for anything more. But yeah, clean sheet, 2 goals, win one of our games in hand. And I also think, and I've been talking to a couple of my friends on group chats, and I think we've got probably one of the best centre halves in the country in concert, and probably the best centre half we've seen at Villa since probably Martin Larsson. That bloke is just a phenomenon. At his age, to be that good, it's ridiculous. England call up incoming, I think, possibly for the Euros. Why not?
Definitely. I've agreed with everything you just said. I think Konza was just colossus at the back. He's just so good, and for his age, he's just going to be with us for a very, very long time. And I think it's nice that it was just a nice, pleasant watch, wasn't it? Really, there was
very much.
It felt like we was in cruise control. We were just going through the motions, and nice 3 points back in the top half of the table. 2 games in hand on a couple of teams, doing really well. So thanks for coming on, mate.
No worries. Up the Villa.